Let's make this all on the up and up here. Oh, hi, and welcome to Living Well Community, your home for interactive and on-demand wellness programming brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. I'm John Roberts, and this is Mind the Moment in everyday life. Each week, we look at viewer questions. We ask ourselves, how can we use mindfulness to make the most out of every moment of our lives? Now, after a couple weeks in which one or the other of us was in the wind, I am whistling Reunited, and it feels so good by Peaches and Herb to be back here with my friend and yours, Jessica Morey. Hi, Jess. How's it going?
John, it is going great. It's really going well. It's raining, and we desperately need rain. And I think the whole Northeast, but definitely Vermont. So
Very good.
it's great.
What does your son think of your new haircut? Is he happy, or is he experiencing a buyer's remorse at this point?
I think he really is noticing. It's not really impacting him.
That's good. He'll be a good bouncer because
Yeah.
you have to look at the eyes, and the. Now, folks.
That's how you tell if someone's
That's
21.
right. That's right. Because
Oh.
your driver's license may look drastically different from how you look in that moment.
Oh, right. Ah,
Really, it's all about mindfulness. Yes, it's not
yeah.
getting distracted by the things around the central uh, area of focus. Well, folks, viewers who have been here before will know how much I enjoy scaling the sheer cliff face of Jessica Morey's psyche in a segment that I like to call icebreakers. Now, Jess, I'm wondering if you can tell me what country or city or site in the world have you always wanted to visit, but you just haven't gotten around to it yet?
Hmm. Hmm. Wow, John. It's bringing up actually a lot of unmet dreams right now. Uh, you know, I think what's gonna my first thought, best thought, Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. What
Yeah.
what what attracts you to it? What has made it always be that the thing in the distance that you are reaching for?
I like the idea of like the hike, like how hard it is to like get there, and then some connection that like I love mountains, and then some connection with like the cultures that were there, and it had some sacred meaning for
Hmm.
people. So yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Mhm.
And I guess what I'll point out as well that the way your lights are positioned makes it look as though there is a semi truck in the background barreling towards you, which is giving this session a sense of urgency, I think, which is good. I have to say, Jess, I if there's a place I would visit that I have not yet, it would be Greece, and I'll tell you why. Most people would not guess this, given my pasty, even pastry-like complexion. But I am actually a fourth generation Greek on my mother's side,
Ah.
her father, and I've always wondered if I went there, would they get me? Would the Greeks get me? Would they recognize me as one of their own? I love squid, which is one of those rare foods that my wife will not abide, so that remains a private pleasure of mine. Just are there any foods that you love that your husband just can't get behind?
I'm sure there are. It's just not coming to my mind right now.
Well, let's
Yeah.
let's assume you guys are perfectly aligned on all your values and
Mm.
food items.
Mm.
But ever been to Greece? Do you think the
No, and
Greece would get
actually, as
me?
you're saying that, I'm like, yeah, I want to go to Greece. That sounds great.
Okay, we'll hit Machu Picchu first,
Right.
and
Yeah.
then we'll do
I want to sail around the Greek islands
yeah,
and like
that's a good
stop.
idea.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
we can water ski around the Greek islands.
Yes.
Someone, I think it was my wife's father, got my son a book of Greek myths, right? And they're supposedly meant for children. But he's asking us to read them to him each night. And I have to say, I'm doing so much on the fly censoring of this stuff that it's hard to even get it out of my mouth. Like I thought those old Bugs Bunny cartoons were violent, but the Greeks of myth, they just eat their own children like a little more often than I feel is necessary to tell a good story. But
Wow. That's kind of like Grimm's, the actual original Grimm's fairy
yeah,
tales.
they are indeed
Terrifying.
live up to
Yeah.
their names.
Yeah.
Uh, Part two, Jess. Viewer questions. Actually, I forgot my water. Hang on.
Okay.
There it is. All right. Here we go. Dear Jess and John, I've heard that one of the classic meditation practices involves contemplating death, but I don't get it. If I'm in a position to contemplate death, then that means by definition that death must still be in my future. In other words, outside the present moment. So wouldn't death contemplation be a way of fixating on an unknown or unknowable future state, taking me out of the lived experience of the moment in which I'm supposed to actually be living? And isn't that a no-no? Okay, so now I share this inquisitor's confusion and even perhaps disappointment, because when I first started meditating myself, and I found out, or I got onto the fact that the idea was to keep oneself focused on the present moment. I thought, this is awesome. I never have to think about death again. And then I too heard that contemplating death is actually one of meditation's greatest hits, and I felt like there'd been a little bit of a bait and switch done on me. So
Mm.
okay, seriously, then, what is the deal? Like, what
Yeah.
is death meditation? Right, it is a thing. I'm
Right.
gathering, and
Yep.
why should we do it? Or should we do it? Do we
Okay,
need to?
great. Well, the question, do you still not want to think about death? Is that
I still not want to think about death. No, not really. I guess. Is that does that disappoint you to hear that? Do you think less of me? No.
no, no. We'll just kind of help you see why it's awesome to do today. So,
Okay. Well, that's a tall order. You got 23 minutes. Let's.
yeah. So actually, this is indeed a kind of classic meditation, particularly in a Buddhist framework. And there's like even like a program called A Year to Live, and it's a whole year-long program where you're imagining that you're going to die in a year and go through this whole reflective process. So if you kind of got a terminal illness diagnosis, and then also like where a lot of the training and mindfulness comes from this one text in Buddhism, and where the four foundations of mindfulness, like what to pay attention to. One of them is the body. The first one, we pay attention to our body. And one way to pay attention to the body is to imagine your body dying and disintegrating. So, so that is a practice. But also I do want to say that we want to be careful with that at the same time. Okay. At least like the detailed attention to it. But yeah, so much so that actually, I practiced in India when I was 18. And I went to, they cremate people in Varanasi on the banks of the Ganges River, which is a very holy place to be cremated. And it's like a public, you can go sit and watch bodies being cremated, people being cremated. So I did that. I was like, all right, this is part of like the practice. So I went and sat and did a mindfulness practice, like watching these cremations. Okay, so
But I feel what you're doing there is cheating, because when you're 18, it's you don't feel like you're ever gonna die, so it's easy. Like, oh, whatever.
Right, there's so much distance.
But
Right, but why is that not really morbid? I think one thing I just want to say is maybe we can put in the resources some practices to work with. We'll put it in the show notes. But one thing I want to say is like try it and see what the impact is for you. But the main thing is that when we start to realize like it's true, like this is totally impermanent. I will die. Everyone I love will die. I'm going to lose everything that I'm accumulating right now. And that includes my learning, my money, my house, my job, my fame, everything that I'm working towards. And when you think about that, it just puts like your actual priorities into clear relief, right? Like if I'm going to actually lose everything, and even if you get like a little, so the only thing you could try to like get a little famous or something like that, but like really, and like 100, 200, 300, nobody cares. Like nobody cares. You're dead. Your name is not even remembered. And so then so the idea with that is then like, okay, so what's worth doing right now? In the context of that reality, what do I want to do with this alive, conscious, embodied moment? Maybe not, make a ton more money. If I've got enough money to like sustain myself and be okay for my family, why work more? Why not actually do the thing? Like, what would actually be deeply meaningful and bring happiness to me right now? Going for a walk, spending time with my child more. Like, so it basically, one of the main things that people say is it helps you super clarify your values and how you actually want to spend the very limited time that we have on the planet, and actually brings you deeply into the present moment, because that's actually all you have. Is that making sense to you, John?
Well, yeah, you'd lost me at first a little bit because you were like, well, you're going to lose everything. You're going to lose your life, the lives of everyone you love, everything you've accumulated in your mind. I'm like, okay, I'm not sold. I'm not sold yet. But then but what I'm hearing is that it is so then you can act upon the things that you are most important in the moment. So maybe the clinging to these things that you have, or maybe is it less about what you have or have had and more about what you have available to you right now and maximizing that? Does that make sense? Is that
Yeah, that, yes. And then also, like, if you, there's a way, if you reflect on that, like, okay, where am I headed? Where am I headed? Like, because a lot of what we do is I'm doing a bunch of stuff now that maybe I don't like, or I'd like to be doing something else, or I don't value that much, but I'm doing it now because in the future, I'm going to get this thing that I think will make me happy. And of course, we need to do things that are unpleasant to sustain ourselves. Not to say like never do anything that you don't want to do, but we're doing all these things now to get something in the future. And then in this reflection, it's sort of like the potential meaninglessness of that future. First of all, that future might never arrive. Like, not only will you die, but you could die tomorrow, right? Like, that's part of this reflection. So if you're going to die tomorrow, how do you want to spend this moment today? And for a lot of us, and there's all these stories too, people who, like, in near fatal accidents, have this complete clarification of like what actually matters is like the people I love, telling the people I love that I love them, spending more time with them. Like, it really gets you to focus on what actually brings real happiness here and now, rather than this idea of some future happiness that I'm going to get.
yeah. So it sounds like maybe it's moving from a like I'm hearing that maybe we put a lot of effort into not losing the things that we have accumulated, and by putting all of our efforts into that not losing, we're missing out on the opportunity to spend our time actually enjoying the things that are in front of us.
Yeah. Yeah. In front of, and that are here right now, which is actually the only thing that exists, is here right now.
Well, let me continue to play devil's advocate for a moment, Jess, and
Okay.
ask if I were to want to avoid or opt out of death meditation,
Mhm.
does that mean that I'm not buying into the whole mindfulness thing correctly? Like, is that like going to the gym and I'm saying I'm just going to do cardio? I'm not going to touch the weights.
No, you don't have to. And for the record, I didn't lift weights for the first 40 years of I just started. So it's fine.
So
Um,
this is good. This could be our year, Jess,
yeah.
where you start lifting weights and I start thinking about death.
Yeah, great. Okay, but I am going to suggest that even if you're not going to think about death, like your death or the death of your loved ones, I would invite you to pay attention to impermanence, to still pay attention to impermanence. So even if you're like, the way you can do that is when you're just following your breath or you're feeling your body or whatever you're using for your mindfulness practice, notice that it's changing so rapidly that nothing about it stays the same. It's constantly changing. Everything is constantly changing. The breath is arising and falling away. The sensations in the body are tingling, moving, vibrating, shifting, and then something else. Your cup of coffee or your water ends. Like, you can do it with something you really enjoy. Like, drink your cup of coffee, really enjoy it, and notice that it ends. So you could just like pay attention. Like, there's this one meditation where you just note gone, gone. So at the end of everything, gone. When you notice the sound is over, gone. When the breath is over, gone. When the coffee's done, gone. When the shower is over, gone. Whatever it is, you just notice gone. And so that in itself can just start to orient you to the futility of clinging to things, but also then to the preciousness of it being actually here now.
So this is good. So we don't have to jump in the deep end right now. So right away, I should say. So I don't have to just immediately start thinking about my son's death. I can start with, or even death in general, because as you're saying, maybe the gateway to thinking about death is just thinking about things not being present anymore.
Yeah.
Like kind of like a dog, where when somebody leaves the room, and the actually no, it's the opposite of that. Because when somebody leaves a room, the dog assumes they have died. So it's but so like yeah, start as you say, like the water going down the drain. There it goes, and then work
Yeah.
my way up to me going down the drain.
Yeah. Just like it's just so obvious. Like time is just passing. And so that helps actually bring us into the now. There's a way of paying attention that it brings you into the now in a way that feels like vibrant and precious.
You know what that sounds like to me? A segue. Shall we meditate? Are we going to do it?
Yeah, let's
Are you
do
going
it.
to force me to
Let's
do
do
this?
it. So I
All right,
will
I'm
guide
ready.
us in this impermanence meditation that we can just kind of practice with it. So we're not going to reflect on our death, but we'll just notice that things are always changing and passing. Okay. So wherever you are today, I'm standing. You can always do meditation standing if you're very tired or you're there's pain in your body or something like this, or you can be seated or you can be lying down, whatever works for you. And I like to start with a few deeper breaths. And let that deep inhale and the deep exhale just pull your attention and awareness into your body, into the feeling body. So on your inhale, it's like let your breath guide your attention down into the sensations in your body, out of your thinking mind. And then extending a few long, full exhales. And on your exhale, just inviting your body to soften. So on your inhale, you can feel, connect in with all the sensations in your body. Checking in, how am I doing this midday? If you notice tension or tightness, then on your exhale, long exhale, just inviting that to soften, release. And you can feel the chair or the floor underneath you. And just get a sense of the ground, gravity. But also the support of the chair or the floor, holding you up. And so now we can just let our attention rest in sensations in our bodies. The breath can come back to its natural rhythm. So you might attend to the sensations of the breath coming and going, or just some sensation somewhere in your body, a place that feels neutral or maybe even slightly pleasant, like the hands or the feet. So choosing sensations to rest your attention. And then as you do that, let's pay attention in particular to the ways that these sensations are changing. Shifting and changing. So even if you're paying attention, say, to the hands touching, even within the sensations, like there might be a sense of like my permanent hand staying the same. But actually, the direct experience of that is a lot of shifting sensations in their own way, tingling or pressure, energy. And we can certainly feel this with the breath. So just kind of orient your mindfulness to the changing quality. And if you'd like, you can use this little note, this like inner note of gone. So maybe at the end of an exhale, and the breath is completely out, this note, gone. Or if a sound arises, you become aware of a sound. You can notice how it shifts and changes. And then if it ends, just noting gone. And so as you're practicing this way, just noticing how that feels. Like, how does that impact your inner state? To just really notice the change. How does that impact the quality of your attention or your presence? And then just for the last minute or so of this practice, I'll invite us into, if you'd like, a little bit of reflection. And so that reflection is like just to take a moment to reflect on something good in your life, something good in your life. And maybe something good in your life that you don't always pay close attention to. You might even miss, like, it could even be like your health or the painlessness of your knees, if that's true for you. Or does anything, big, small, the particular age of your child or your grandchild. Something good, something you appreciate. Just for a moment, take a moment to reflect on how this will change. This will change. And holding that truth of this change is not going to last forever. What comes into the heart mind? What becomes an intention? How do you want to be with this thing? How do you want to pay attention? What's that like? Okay, and so then when you're ready, you can open your eyes and just orient back to our group here.
Thank you, Jess. Before we continue, a word. If you have a question you would like us to look at in a future episode, please do email us at I'm sorry, excuse me, askmtm at point32health.org. And if you would like to watch this session again, it will be posted to our YouTube page and our podcast feed very soon. The links to those things are either in the chat, or they will be in the chat in a moment, or they will be in the show notes and description below if you're watching this as a recording already. So Jess, I just wanted to reiterate something that we were talking about. Or the person who wrote the question was asking about, isn't thinking about death taking me out of the present moment? And what I feel like I'm getting from you here is that thinking about one's actual death in the future might be a little bit different than thinking about how everything in this moment is itself passing away to some degree, and that maybe thinking like fixating on my death, in however many years or hours, maybe has less of a mindful valence than just concentrating on all the things that we can see passing away in the moment, which may include some things that we don't mind are passing away, such as pain could be, or grief will also have arise and pass in moments. So if does that sound right?
Yeah, totally. And I don't ever want to I don't necessarily want to suggest this is what your experience will be. I would much rather people try reflecting on impermanence, try maybe explore some of this death meditation and see what it's like for you. But what tends to happen is that when we pay attention to impermanence, it makes us pay closer attention to be more connected to what is good and what we like and what we value in the deep way, not necessarily, just and appreciate and enjoy and have gratitude. And then it tends to make us have more equanimity or peace with what we don't like pain, grief, sadness, because we know it will pass and it's not going to last forever, which is deeply relieving. So it's sort of like a magical elixir that makes the good better and the worst better.
Very good.
Yeah.
And just always our last question here. What happens when we die?
John, your body, well, it depends on what you decide in terms of cremation or natural burial, but your body gets given back to all beings.
How would you like to be dealt with when you are?
I think I want a natural burial. And that's becoming more and more of a thing, like one of these green burials. Just I'd love to just be put in the ground and have a nice tree put on top. And even a fruit tree. That didn't seem, that'd be kind of nice. Yeah.
Beautiful. But here's some of the actual last things, which are plugs. What are you up to? Besides persisting in life for our good fortune here.
Yeah, so many things. Okay, so one, I just started that Monday group. I think I mentioned it last time. And so it's the second and fourth Mondays of the month. So it won't be again for a couple more weeks. But we can it's on my website. You can find the link to that. And it's really fun. We're focusing on compassion meditation. So that's every Monday at 4 Eastern. And then I have this retreat that's coming up in December, overnight, 3 nights in Vermont, southern Vermont, not far from John's house. You can wave on your way by, and it will be sustainable compassion training with myself and John McCransky teaching a weekend retreat of compassion.
Beautiful. And here's one for me. Tomorrow, Wednesday, September 24th, from 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Eastern, our Living Well Community weekly Wednesday wellness recharge webinar is going to be mindfulness based. And it is, in fact, another installment of our occasional Art and Science of Awareness series, in which we interview scientists or thought leaders working on the cutting edge of mindfulness research. And our guest tomorrow is Jeffrey Prull, who, amongst other things, is a professor at Brown University, associated with their Mindfulness Center. And he studies how mindfulness practices can mitigate the effects of stress in a variety of different populations, but especially Indigenous communities. So let me drop into the chat.
Awesome. Everyone should check that out. He's doing really interesting, awesome work.
Yes. I'm looking forward to I have not had a chance to meet him virtually or in person, so looking forward to that. And finally, Jess, what is the theme song for your mindfulness practice this week?
The theme song this week is Like This, Like That by the California Honey Drops.
Okay, very good. And I think I just got to go with The Great Gig in the Sky by Pink Floyd. Remember, folks, to check out our ever-growing Mind the Moment in Everyday Life dance party playlist on Spotify. And don't forget, this session, like all of our Living Well community sessions, are free and open to all. So you can bring your community while you build your community. Jess, thank you. Great to be back
Yeah.
with
You're
you.
welcome. I just want to say thanks. So, folks in the chat, we always love your chat. So, I just want to say thanks, Jamal. This is a great comment here about getting rid of our our stuff, the benefit of that. And yeah. So, thanks, everyone, for being part of the conversation today and always.
And we will see you again soon.
Okay.
Have a good
Take
one,
care.
everyone.